Welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome to this workshop session, how to manage your business in real time using the right analysis tools. Thanks for joining us. It's a pleasure to be here. So before we start, I'm just going to remind you that there will be 4 of us workshops today. So feel free to sign up to these workshops. I will send you in a minute the agenda of the different session in the chat. Of course, do not hesitate to share this link to your teammates. These workshops will cover a wide range of topics, so they can be useful for experienced users, but also new users. So today we'll talk about the reports. I'll show you the different reports, teach you how they work and how they can be used. For information, there will be a Q&A time at the end of this presentation. So just keep in mind your questions or write them down in the chat and we will answer them at the end. I'm now going to share my screen with you and we are about to start. So, well, I'd like to start by a quick introduction on a very, very important notion, because this notion can directly impact your sales report, especially margin, but also your inventory valuation report. And I'm talking about the moving average cost. So first, what is this exactly? The moving average cost is a method that allows you to calculate the unit cost of your product, the average unit cost, anytime there are quantities of products entering your inventory. So this implies 2 conditions. The first condition is adding products to your inventory, of course, and the second one is allowing Erplain to catch the unit cost of these items when it happens. So now that we have a definition, I'd like to create with you 3 operations that can impact your moving average cost of your products. And let's start by creating a new product. So to create a new product, I can use the quick access menu right here, and I can click on products, and here is the creation form for products. So we're going to give a name to our product. Let's say stocks. I'm going to add an initial stock level. So this is a very important step because we need to add quantities of products to the inventory. So do not forget to add quantities right here. I'm also going to add an initial cost. So the initial cost field is here for a simple reason. It's just a simple way to add a unit cost for your products. The idea is that when you are creating a new product, you prefer to avoid having to create all the purchase order history. So we want just a simple way to add a unit cost, and that's why the initial cost is here. So I'm going to add an initial cost. So remember, this is a unit cost of 100 euros. By the way, euros is the default currency of this account, but don't worry, it also works if you're using US dollar, Canadian dollars, sterling pound, etc. And we save. So now let's do a second operation. We are going to create a stock entry. So a stock entry is an operation that consists in adding quantities of products to your inventory. So let's do this. Inventory, stock entry is right there. Let's select our product. So as you can see here, there's a cost that that showed up automatically. So actually, this is your moving average cost right now. We've created this product with an initial cost of 100. So at this stage, the moving average cost of our product is also 100. And this is why it automatically displays here. But we're going to remove this information. I'm going to add a cost of 0, and let's say I will add 100 quantities. Let's say I found these products. Never really happens in real life. It's a miracle by our accounts, but never mind. It's just for the example, and we save. So right now the stock entry is completed, which means that Erplain has made the adjustment for us and has added 100 quantities to our inventory. Then let's do a third and last operation. We are going to create a purchase order. We're going to buy these products. So go to inventory, purchase order. I could also always use the quick access menu to do this, but let's create it from the purchase order menu. So let's select the supplier. I'm going to remove this. This is just a discount rate that I've associated with my supplier. This is a default setting, but I don't need it for the example. Okay, let's select the product. Let's say we want to buy 100 quantities, and the price will be 100. So if you notice right here, I've chosen not to include taxes in the unit price. So here 100 is a tax-free price, and we save. So at this point, the order is created, but the products are not received yet. So to receive our products, we need to click right here. So this will generate a new document called delivery, and this delivery will generate the adjustment, will create the adjustment that we need for adding these quantities to our own hand stock level. So let's do that. And we save. Okay, now that we have created these three operations, let's have a look at the moving average cost history of this product. So we're going to see how the moving average cost has changed throughout these three transactions. So to do so, I'm going to open the first report, open the intelligence menu right here, and open the product valuation report right there. So from this report, we can, of course, track the valuation of our inventory. We'll get to that later, but we can also check the history of the moving average cost of any products. So let's find our products. We're going to use a filter to do so. Here we apply, and here is our product. And we are going to use this side button right here, history. So this is these are the transaction that we've created. So here is the creation of the product. Then we have the stock entry, and then we have the delivery that followed the purchase order. So here we can see that the stock entry with a cost of 0 has largely contributed to reducing the moving average cost that appears right here under the acronym MAC for moving average cost. So now that we've done this together, let's not forget that you need to create these kind of operation to have a moving average cost or to update the moving average cost. It's not because you have a purchase price registered for a certain product that Erplain will be able to calculate the cost of your product based on this information only. Special mention also for those of you who forgot to add the initial cost to their products. Just know that this is something that you can update even if the product is already created. So for example, let's open any product from my list. Right here, we can open any product. Go to edit. And here is the initial cost field, so I can just change the value of the initial cost right here and save. Of course, if you need to do this on multiple products, 10, 20, 30, well, just do a bulk update, so a product bulk update using a CSV or an Excel file. This will go much, much faster. Okay, now let's get back to our first report, product valuation. I wanted to show you how this report works. So this is the report product valuation. This is where you can track the valuation of your inventory. So the valuation appears right here, and this valuation is calculated based on the moving average cost. So if you don't have a moving average cost for your product, you also don't have a valuation probably for the same product. So to get to the valuation, Erplain multiplies your current on-hand stock level right there with the moving average cost. So if we multiply this information with this information, we have this result. So this report works just like any other reports. You can use filters, you can create views, but we'll talk about later when we'll talk about the sales reports. We also have the same reports by date. So if we go back a minute to the intelligence, you can see here the report product valuation by date. So the idea is just to create, use a date filter. So choose any past date like this. We apply this date filter, and Erplain will automatically recalculate your valuation based on past information. So this is very useful, for example, if you need to compare your product valuation each year at the end of the year. So you can, for example, create this report and then export this report. But just so you know, Erplain will keep the information warm for you. So if you need to just view this information, just go back to the report and apply a new date filter. Okay, that's it for the product valuation. Now we can move on to our next point, the sales reports. So the sales reports are always here in the upper section of the screen. So what we can see here are just default kind of ready-to-use reports. Of course, you can use these reports, but the whole points with reports is to create custom reports based on indicators, filters, and columns that are important for your business. So if we want to create a new report, we can click here on the Add button. But just so you know, I could also have started from an already existing report and then change the report to create a new one. So here we have a filter bar. So we can click on this filter bar to start applying new filters. So for example, let's say I want to check the performances, the sales performances of a certain customer. I can use the filter customer right here. I can select any customer like this one. We apply, and here's the result. So just like this, you can use multiple filters. So you can, for example, just go back to the list of filters using this button right there, and you can keep on applying more filters to your report. Once this is done, you can rearrange the columns and columns order. So you go to columns, use the columns button right here. You can simply check the columns that you need and uncheck the ones that you don't need. And I was also saying that you can rearrange the appearance order of your columns. So if, for example, you want the year in first position, you can choose year. You use this little side button right there. You click, you hold the click, and then you can rearrange the order within the list. And like you can drop it here just before margin right there. Okay. So let's say we are done with this report. We can save this report to be able to just reuse it later on. So to do so, you can click here on sales reports. You click save reports. We give it a name and click on create new report. So this will create a shortcut. So now this report is available here. You can see here. So you can reopen this report with a single click. You can also use these two buttons to delete your custom report or update your reports. You can also use the view button to navigate from one report to another. So this is really useful to, well, just to navigate from one report to another, but also you can also delete reports also from there. Okay, all good. So basically, this is how the custom reports work. So I can now try to show you more of this feature capabilities with just a few examples. So for example, let's say I want to check the performances of my customers. I want to know who's my best customer this month. So I can use a filter on creation dates. So I could go here, I can select range this month and apply. Of course, I'm going to need my customer information. So let's go to columns and add the information customer right here. And here I have my recap. So if you have, for example, if you had the invoice number, if we had the invoice numbers, etc., we could just also remove this column just to have the quick recap that we have right here. I don't have much information in this report, but I could also rearrange the order of the information by ascending or descending order with a single click on the title right there. So here I can clearly see that Mountain Goat is my best customer this month. But we could also go a little further and apply more filter. We could also ask Erplain, who's the best customer this month, but just for products within a certain range of my products. So we could go to filters, product tags. So beforehand, I have created these tags that are just my product ranges. So I could focus on the hiking range and apply. And here is the result. Well, Mountain Goat is still the best customer anyway. So this was the first example. Let's do another example. So let's say I work with sales representative, so account representative, salesperson. They work on the road and they use Erplain to take orders. And I frequently need to calculate sales commission for them. So let's say I need to calculate a yearly commission based on their sales. So let's do that. So first thing we are going to do is we are going to add the column account representative. All I want is just a quick recap so we can just remove the customer information for this. Let's then apply another filter. As it's a yearly commission, I can include all sales created from the 1st of January, so all sales created this year, and apply. And here is the result. So, well, from this report, I can clearly see that, for example, Lisa right there has performed very well this year. I can calculate her commission based on this report. I can also check the margin right here, which also gives me another indicators of my account representative performance. But again, if I just wanted a simple kind of a more global sales margin report, I could remove the information account representative and add my products. And here I have my report. So from this report, I can also check which product have the highest margin, which product have the lowest margin, and based on this, I can take the right decision. So, well, that's it for the examples. So this is just a few examples. Maybe we just with these two examples, we've covered, I don't know, maybe 15%, 20% of what's really possible with these reports. So now it will be your turn to explore this feature and create your own custom reports. Okay, let's move on to another other reports. So here here we have the sales orders section. So here we can find two different reports, the reserve products and the in-invoice products. So above all, I think the reserve products is very interesting. Allows you to track all your reserved products. So it includes all products that are in a sales order, but yet not fulfilled, so not included in a shipping order. You can see also the sales order number. You can check the customers, products, quantities, but you can also track the reserved from the stock levels. So the stock levels are right here under inventory. You can open the stock levels. So these stock levels are very interesting tool because it gives you kind of a more global insight on all stock information. This is why I think it's maybe more versatile. But here is the reserved column. And if we click on the gray cells right there, we can see the units So the quantities, shipping date, and also the sales orders, sales order numbers. So if we click on any sales order number, we are directly redirected to the order. So you can also use this method. Just use the method that you're more comfortable with. Okay, back to the intelligence again. Let's now explore the payment and invoices, payment and invoices section. So, well, titles here are pretty explicit. So for payments, this is just a report that shows all payments registered in Erplain. So it does not include, of course, payments that were created, for example, from QuickBooks. Only payments created in Erplain. So regardless of the payment status, so it includes both partial payments and full payments. So very simple report to use. Then we have these two reports, so unpaid invoices and overdue invoices. So for overdue invoices, it's again very simple. Every invoices have a due date. When this due date is passed, Erplain will add the invoice to the list, and you can use this report to track your overdue amounts. In addition, you can use this report. You can combine this report with our email templates. So for example, following up on late payments. So it also works with unpaid invoices or overdue invoices. So if you go there to settings, email templates, you can create different templates. So for example, if we open the invoice, I have created here a template for my overdue invoices. So here the added value resides in these body variables that you can insert in the body of the text and also in the subject line. So here I'm using, for example, the invoice number, the due date, invoice number again, my name, phone number, etc. You can use more definitely, but this is just a simple, very simple, straightforward example. I've also added Richie, a colleague of mine. We always work together for payment follow-up, so I've also copied it in the email. So now if we open any invoice from, for example, our overdue invoices reports, we could use this to follow up, to do a quick follow-up on these invoices. So if we click here on action, send by email, we can select the template and you can see all the context information popped up correctly, and I'm good to send my email right away. Okay. So I'm doing a quick detour on this feature because it can really be helpful for different scenarios, not only tracking late payments and unpaid invoices, but many more. Okay, back to our reports. So unpaid invoices. So again, very simple report. Here's maybe the most important column in the report, the remaining balance. So just so you know, if you are a QuickBooks user, these reports, so unpaid and overdue, won't include payments, I mean invoices with payments created from QuickBooks. So for information, if you're creating payments directly in QuickBooks, these payments won't sync to Erplain, which, well, make these reports kind of, well, not usable. So, but if you're using only Erplain to create payments and to register payments in your invoices, these reports are just perfect for you. Back to the intelligence menu again. So I guess that's pretty much it for the reports. I left aside maybe a few reports like in invoice tax. So this is really, well, very simple. Just includes all invoices, but you have also more details about the taxes or tax used in the invoice, like tax amount, the tax name, and tax rate. Same thing also for uninvoiced products. This includes all products that were included in a sales order, but that were not yet invoiced. So very simple. One more thing about margin. I think I just forgot to tell you this, and I think this is pretty important. If we open any sales report, So we talked a little bit about margin. So just so you know how this margin is calculated. So just to keep things short, I won't go through the margin formula. You'll be able to find this formula in our article margin, by the way. But just so you know, margin is calculated based on the cost of goods sold that you can also find here as a column. So COGS for cost of goods sold. And this cost of goods sold is calculated based on the moving average cost. So just be aware of this. If you're seeing products with a 100% margin ratio, probably means that you don't have a moving average cost for your product. So pay attention to this detail. Okay, well, that's it for the reports. I think this presentation is coming to an end. I'm going to share with you right now just a few links, few articles that can be useful to complement this presentation. Of course, in the meantime, you can send us all your questions, and it will be a pleasure for us to answer all your questions. If we don't have the time to answer some questions, don't worry, but you can still contact us and send us your questions using the help center right there. So you can open a ticket right there and just include your question right there, and our product team will be back to you quickly. So here are the links. You'll find these links in the chat section. So very simple. That's mainly so the margin article that I was just talking about. If you want to find out more about the margin formula, the updating data that can be very also updating data tutorial also very helpful if you need to update the initial cost for your products in bulk. And also I've added one more, the sales report. So just a quick recap of how all your sales report can be customized. I'm checking I'm checking your questions. So in the meantime, well, if you have other more questions, just send it to us. Okay. Um, How do I remove taxes from my sales report? Well, this is very simple. This is the sales tax is in fact just a column. So that's a column that you can remove. So you have two kind of totals in your sales report. You have a total with tax and the total without tax. So just choose the one that you prefer. So if you don't want to see the tax amount, you just remove that column. If you don't want to see the total with tax, you just remove the information, and that's it. Is it possible for you to go over cost of goods sold one more time? Well, yes, of course. So the cost of goods sold is calculated based on the moving average cost. So I've explained how the moving average cost works, but once you have a moving average cost, the cost of goods sold is simply the moving average cost multiplied by the number of quantities sold in the invoice or in time. So depending on on the reports, depending on the columns you've used in the report, the cogs, so the cost of goods sold is going to change, of course. So those the moving average cost takes into account shipping cost. Yes, it does. So on a pro rata basis, the shipping costs will also be taken into account when calculated the moving average cost. Sorry. So there are more questions about just about the shipping cost. So the shipping cost is included. It also updates the moving average cost, so you don't have any setup to do when you are if you want to include the shipping cost amount in the moving average cost calculation. This is done automatically on a pro rata basis. Can we run a report that shows items on a sales order that have not been shipped or been invoiced yet? So I think you'll find maybe two different solutions to this question. So here, if we go to widget, so we have the order to ship widget that includes all unfulfilled orders. And also you can use the report, so that the last report that was talking about uninvoiced products right there. And I think that's well, that's pretty much it. So this just shows all sales order that have not been invoiced yet. Another questions from David. So just so I understand, when the information is inputted, when the products are received, this will calculate the moving average cost. Yes, it will. So to update the moving average cost, you create deliveries. So just right after creating the purchase order, the delivery will update the moving average cost, just like a stock entry or just like adding an initial cost to your products. Kindly explain stock aging reports. There's no aging report right now at this point in Erplain, but I will definitely take note of this feedback and add your name to the existing request. And so if there are any updates on this point, we'll get back to you. So just checking the time. I guess maybe with maybe time just for one more question, just one last questions. Of course, if we cannot answer to all questions, I'm sorry about that. But if you don't have received, just so you know, if you don't have received, if you didn't receive the answer to your question, just send us a ticket and you will be redirected to our team of product specialists, and it will be a pleasure for them to answer your question. Is there any back order reporting that can detail items not yet received on a purchase order? Yes, you can actually track this from so stock levels. If we go to stock levels, here's the incoming stock level. So it includes all quantities of products included in a purchase order, but not received yet. So all the quantities that you can see here are just quantities, just the quantities that you're searching for. Okay, well, that's it for this session. Thanks for attending this workshop. It was a pleasure. There will be more workshops coming today. So if you haven't signed up yet, go ahead and sign up to the next workshop. Thank you all. See you in a bit.